So hi everyone and welcome. It's 5 after, so I think we'll get going. My name is Shireen Ash. I'm a librarian with the Marin County Free Library. I'm really pleased that you all could join us today for this very important presentation. I'm thrilled that Legal Aid of Marin reached out to me. Thank you, Tahirah, for shooting me an email and saying, let's get this going. We're really excited to have two staff attorneys today presenting, Tahirah Dean and Lucie Hollingsworth. Tahirah is going to handle the presentation, and then Lucie will take questions at the end. So if you have questions, please save them at the end and they will be answered. So just to let you know, we are recording, so if you need to refer back to this, this will be on our website. And so I am going to disappear for a bit, and thank you all again for coming, and let Tahirah get going. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for signing on today to learn about tenant protections during the pandemic. My name is Tahirah, and I'm here with Lucie, and we are happy to answer any questions that you have at the end. So feel free to take pictures throughout this presentation and share with your friends and family. This information is for you all. So let's just start off with who we are. Legal Aid of Marin is a nonprofit located in San Rafael. We offer free bilingual legal services for low-income Marin residents. Our practice areas are involving civil fines and fees, so that's in community court. If you have any tickets, traffic tickets, you need to work through to find alternative ways to work those off of your record. Come to us. We can show you through, walk you through the process of community court. We do trust and estates planning for our seniors. We help individuals with employment issues and, of course, housing, which Lucie and I are in the housing unit. We also do public benefits if you need any assistance applying for any government benefits. So in August of this year, Governor Newsom passed a law called AB 3088, which is also called the COVID-19 Tenant Relief Act of 2020. Essentially, it says that a tenant cannot be evicted for non-payment of rent between March 1st, 2020 through January 31st, 2021, if you meet certain requirements. This applies to all rental units, including if you're just renting a room in a house or an apartment. All renters are protected, whether you are renting from the actual owner of the property or someone else who is subleasing to you. So before any eviction can get started in court, a landlord must provide you with an eviction notice, a 15-day notice to pay or to quit. With that notice, they need to provide you with a blank declaration and a notice of tenant's rights. So we do have a sample of what this 15-day notice could look like, and so I just want to show everyone. So this is something that you might see. These notices come in different forms. That's why it is really important that if you do get a notice and you're not sure if it's lawful, it's important to bring it to an attorney. You can call us for free anytime. We can evaluate it for you because there is certain language that needs to go in these notices. If it's not proper, then the landlord will have to start the process all over again. So you'll get that notice. They also should provide you with this declaration, which you can find on our website if they don't provide it. This declaration.
Sorry, really quick. Sorry to interrupt. It looks like it's not coming up, but after the presentation, we'll show you what the 15-day notice and declaration look like.
Oh, you can't see it on my screen?
Yeah, I think you have to actually close out, and yeah, we'll show it afterwards.
Oh, okay. Got it. So the declaration that you will see later on, which is also on our website, basically says that I've been affected by COVID-19 in some way. Either I lost my job, or I have to take care of my kids and therefore my hours are being reduced, or I'm caring for a sick family member. There are many reasons how COVID-19 could have affected your ability to pay rent. So, don't just think because you didn't get COVID or a family member didn't get it that you don't qualify for this, relief. Definitely talk to us if you have any doubts. But basically, you're going to give this declaration to your landlord, and you're going to eventually, we'll discuss in the next slide, what amount of money you need to pay to be protected from eviction. So for the months of September through January, to avoid getting evicted, you need to submit this declaration, but then also for any of your missed payments, you need to pay 25% of those missed payments before January 31st of 2021. So that's not saying that you have to pay every single month this 25%, but it's just you're going to calculate all of your total missed payments between September and January by the end of January, and you'll pay 25% of that. There's a lot of misinformation going on in the community that you have to be able to pay every single month. That's not true. So for December, if December and January, you can just pay those 2 months, times the 25%. And if you have any questions about how much you need to pay, we do have a worksheet on our website which can help you calculate that. You can also definitely call us and we'll walk you through what's the best amount for you to pay here. Some people can pay more than 25%, and so that might be better for you to just be able to pay as much as you can now, because this is not this relief it's a temporary relief to be able to get you through this period, but the rent is still going to be due at some point. It's not waiving the rent entirely that you are unable to pay. So you're probably thinking, what about the payments from March of this past year to August? What happened to those payments? So under state law, those missed payments are also protected. You can't be evicted for missing those months as well. But for those months, you do not have to pay that 25%. A declaration just needs to have been submitted for those months as well. You cannot be evicted for those months. And a landlord is going to just be able to take you to small claims court after March 5th of 2021 to get those missed payments. And that's the same for the missed payments between September and January. We are suggesting that people start to think about how you want to enter into agreement with your landlord to start paying those payments back, to avoid going to small claims court. If you set up an agreement with your landlord saying, I think I'll be able to pay XYZ amount, from here afterwards, that can also avoid, having the landlord be able to, take you to court to come up with those missed payments. When thinking about what will happen if you did get into court and have to, think about paying those amounts back, we do ask you to think about counterclaims. So those are different, you can raise different habitability issues, saying, if the landlord was not providing a habitable space for you, there was always, heating issues, no electricity, flooding from toilets, any repairs that went unanswered, definitely take note of those so that if you do need to bring a counterclaim in court, you'll have those at your defense. So in addition to the protection of you not getting evicted because you're not able to pay rent during this time, there's also the additional protection that there's no cause eviction. So previously the landlords were able to say, I want you out this amount of time, no reason it needs to be given. But to now, since August of this year, landlords have to be able to provide a just cause reason for the eviction. There are a few exceptions to this. There are still permitted evictions, and we have listed them here. So, for example, if there's any criminal activity going on, that's a justification for you to get evicted. If there's serious lease violations, we could go through what a lease violation would look like to get you evicted. There's that. But if the owner wants to occupy their unit again, that's a valid reason. They want to take the property off the rental market, and then if there's serious, construction issues in which they need to be able to, fix the property, these would be serious reconstruction construction issues. It's called under red tag. That's a reason why they would also be able to provide the eviction. But generally, they need to state a valid reason for eviction. And we are seeing a lot of notices when there's no there's no reason for the eviction, and that's an unlawful notice. So what do you do if you receive a 15-day notice? Most importantly, do not leave your home. Do not get scared that the police are going to come. There is a very specific process that these landlords need to go through. They're going to provide you that notice, which we will show you after. You need to immediately present the landlord with that declaration, signed and dated. If there is no declaration that they provide you with, please go to our website and download it. Once you provide, have that declaration ready to go, take a picture of it, copy it, and save it for your own records to show, later on down the line that you did provide, tell the landlord that you needed more time to pay. You're going to pay the 25% of the rent. That declaration submitted to them is the proof that you complied with this law. So you will receive a notice for, so we have 2 months left, right? So for December and January, say you submit the declaration for December, January, next month comes and they provide you with another eviction notice. You're just going to do the whole process again. You're going to submit a new declaration and, letting the landlord know that you cannot pay it this time. That's completely okay. You'll do it again. We'll talk about it towards the end, but if we get more protection, after January 31st, the same thing will happen. For February and March, you'll continue to submit this declaration, and we'll find out more about that soon enough. So here are some things that your landlord cannot do that we hear about people, that are happening to people, but or they're just afraid that it's going to happen. The landlord cannot lock you out of your home. They cannot threaten to call ICE. They can't threaten to call sheriffs. They cannot cut off your utilities. They cannot take away services that are provided in your lease, for example, parking. They cannot harass, threaten, or do any other behavior to force you to move out. They can't ask you for additional financial documents. If you are experiencing any harassment from your landlord, please do contact us immediately. They have to go through the court process. So just because they provide you that notice, this does not mean that you are going to have the police show up to drag you out, put you on the street. They have to go through the court process, and the judge has to make a ruling on this eviction before anything happens to you. So do not be afraid. You do have protections during this time period. Just make sure that you are communicating with a legal provider such as Legal Aid of Marin to know what your rights are specifically in your specific circumstance, and the timelines to which you can expect that the court process will be finished for you to have to actually leave, if you even do have to leave. So master tenants, what are master tenants? That's someone that does not own the property but has leased out either their room, their apartment, or their house to someone else. And so the question has come up: what happens in this eviction scenario? What if I pay rent and or have a lease with a master tenant? Am I going to get evicted in the same way? Yes, the master tenant has the same obligations as a landlord under the law. The master tenant must go through that same eviction process as a landlord. So they have to give you that formal eviction notice. They have to give you the notice of tenant rights and the declaration. And you should expect the same kind of treatment of going through the court process the same way as the landlord. They cannot evict you, just by any, calling the police or anything like that. Like, you have the same exact rights. What if my master tenant stops paying the rent? This is why you need to keep really good records of every rent payment. And we do advise you to try and pay that landlord. If they stop paying the rent, try and go to the landlord directly and pay the rent. You need to submit your own declaration to that landlord if the master tenant is no longer being the go-between. And ultimately, what happens if the master tenant abandons the unit completely and you have no way to be able to pay that landlord? You are still a tenant by law. The landlord must go through that court process to have you evicted. a landlord is not obligated to enter into a lease with you, but you can try to go directly to that landlord and start a new formal agreement between you and them, the owner of the property, versus that middle person. And we could definitely further advise you on how to navigate that situation. So there are, unfortunately, a lot of rent increases going on, even during the pandemic, which is very disheartening to see landlords raising their rent during this time. You should know that, like, generally landlords can raise the rent, but if it's over a certain percentage, it could be considered as gouging, and is over 10% is considered illegal during a state of emergency. Even a rent increase of over 6% could violate state law. Please definitely come to us if you get any rent increases, and we can evaluate it to see if it's lawful or unlawful. We do have a lot of people in our community that don't actually have status. They're worried about having issues of admissibility when it comes to applying for green cards. So we hear people be afraid of the term public charge. So that's really for a specific group of individuals who are applying for green card status through a family member. It doesn't apply to all people that do not have status. So you definitely come to us if you have further questions, if public charge applies to you. But generally, you should know that the public charge is not, it doesn't affect public charge issue of admissibility if you are accepting help from a nonprofit organization to pay your rent, if you're accepting legal aid's help, if you're applying for something like CalFresh, which is the food stamps. It's not affected for seeking emergency medical care or getting COVID-19 testing. So definitely, if you have questions about that, let us know. Here's a few additional resources. Our website and the County of Marin, they have really great videos on their website, or different resources about how to protect yourself during the pandemic. We also have really great resources, more FAQs, and we have videos on our website, on our YouTube channel as well, that can help you to get bite-sized information and pass it along to your family and friends. So here's a really great page. Definitely write down these numbers and names of organizations if you or your friends or family need help paying your rent. These nonprofits will be able to, some of them are still be able to provide rental assistance. So if you qualify, they're either going to pay 25% of your missed payments. Sometimes they might even provide the entire month's rent. So they're really amazing, and they're doing a great job right now. Definitely you have to get on a waiting list, and they have to vet you, but they are able to provide this assistance and during the pandemic, and it's a really great relief. Everyone should be able to take advantage of it if they need the help. So I'm sure you're wondering what's going to happen after January 31st, 2021, when the COVID-19 Tenant Relief Act expires. So right now we are hearing about a proposed new bill that will extend the moratorium through December of next year. So tenants would, in this proposed bill, tenants would still have the ability to pay their 25% of their total missed rents, and landlords would not be able to begin evictions until 2022 without just cause, unrelated to the pandemic. The Board of Supervisors, and separate issue, the Board of Supervisors within Marin County are considering extending this moratorium locally. So whether or not this bill gets passed at the state level, the County of Marin would like to protect their residents by extending these protections. They're talking about rent freezes, rent freeze increases, and other types of protections to make sure that the residents of Marin, are not going through not being evicted during this time. So, in conclusion, please do remember to find a copy of that declaration on our website. sign, date, and keep a copy of it to be able to give to your landlord if you need help paying your rent or if you need more time. Also be clear on what rent payment you are making. With each check, you can put on the memo line if you're devoting that, say you are trying to pay just for December's 25%, you'll put on your check December month's rent. Or if you're paying for 2 months, you want to put December and January. Just be very specific about which months you're paying for so that the landlord can properly allocate that 25%. And so that there's no errors when it comes to determining what is owed at the end of this period. Do know that you do have rights as a tenant. There are protections for you. Don't be scared of going through the court process, of facing these landlords that are aggressive, that are trying to chase down people for money. It can be very scary, but know that the law's on your side. There are a lot more protections than people know of, and it's okay to ask for help. We definitely, we're here to serve you guys. We're here to serve the community. Do not hesitate if you have any questions at all. Even if you don't think you'll qualify for our help, we can refer you to other places, other people that will be able to get you that help that you need. And we're just able to also answer basic questions no matter what. So please contact us. Here's our information for contact, and we are ready to take any and all questions that you have. And Lucie, if you have anything else to add that was missed, definitely let me know.
I think the only thing I can think of is that the county has, we do have more money for rent help coming soon. And so that will be distributed by specific organizations, but will go through the county. So for now, those organizations that we listed, you would want to contact them directly. But just, if you're seeking rent help, go to the county's website or go to our website, because that's going to change really soon, where there'll be one central number for you to call, most likely, to request and get put on the list to get help for rent. Just with everything these days, it seems that they're changing daily. We certainly try and keep up with that. But again, here's our number. Here is our website. Take advantage of that.
Okay, just want to thank everyone for joining us, and thank Lucie and Tahirah in particular for providing this very essential information. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about the library, or if you need to get in touch with Tahirah or Lucie. And I guess then we will say goodbye and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you guys.
Everyone.